had to oh my God. Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and welcome back to this new baby. Start out with an apology. Yesterday, I had a lot of family stuff happen at the last minute. So I could not get the recap up of both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for February 24th. Yeah, it was a pressing issue. I had to get my son on a plane out of town last night, so it was some craziness going on. So I'm sorry about that I could not get that recap out. So my apologies. Hope all is well. Yeah, it's still an ongoing process, but yeah, a lot was going on that just dropped in my lap yesterday morning. So, yeah, I had to take a hiatus on the recaps for yesterday. Well, we hope everything is okay. Yeah, so we'll just have to keep working. All right. So what we're gonna do is we and then we do the bold and then we have where we do the bold and then and then so we got that. I know a lot of did you say yes? Oh, okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and okay. So come on, computer. So for the one with that balance for and really, really. All right. So what's out with her issues, and I think it developed over time. But we all knew that they were going down this road. Do I necessarily think it's the best idea? Nope. For two reasons. One, because um, I feel like it's like you said it before. It seems like a trauma bond between the two of them. And then the other thing is there's Adam. He absolutely hates Adam. So you're going to get involved with his ex. You're already around all the time. You're going to get involved with his ex, and then now you're going to have to deal with Adam a lot more because of Connor. So my thing is, if he plans on pursuing something with Chelsea, then he needs to drop all the animosity and the little, I don't know, the little crappy comments he always throws Adam's way when he sees him, and he needs to be mature about his relationship with, for lack of a relationship with Adam, if he plans to pursue Chelsea, because that's not going to do anything but add more stress to Chelsea's life. Now, you know, if she decides to get involved with Billy, and then having to be the mediator between Billy and Adam. So
Exactly. What do you think, Trish?
Oh, I agree 100%. And I don't even think I think it's two trauma bonds, too, Keisha. I think it's the recent trauma bond of Chelsea almost doing what she did. And then also, you have to go back in history to the trauma bond of what she did when they first met. Mm-hmm. And they have a child together under those traumatic circumstances. And then she, of course, has a child with Adam. And now Adam, we know, is going to have a child with Sally. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about Billy and Chelsea at all.
Yeah, I honestly think that they need to get past their traumatic issues first before and become healthy before even trying to clearly pursue a relationship together. I mean, and like you say, that hatred that both Adam and well, I guess is what I say hate. What? What is
Adam about y'all need to cut it out kind of thing.
Well, I remember her saying something to Adam. I just don't remember that being clearly communicated to Billy.
I'm pretty sure she got in got on Billy's back about it too.
I think she did get on both of them, but the thing with her is when she got on both of them, she was only really stern with Adam, whereas with Billy,
Exactly.
when she said it, she had that little grin on her face and that little twinkle in her eye. It was kind of that nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Come on now, you could be better than this, and that kind of thing. So I think there's that coddling, which is he's a grown man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
and
care
that's
for.
what I was referring to. She really put it down harder and more sterner and straightforward, direct at Adam.
Yeah. And I think
Whereas,
that's what everybody does to Adam. It's like, no, you da 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 da. Whereas everybody else is like, well, you kind of, sort of. It's such a double standard.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But um, really, and so this movie really about having a reason to really say part of the reason it's really yeah, exactly. All right. So let's see. What else do y'all want to tackle? That was most
those characters.
I guess.
I'm
Go ahead.
glad they didn't drag it out.
Yep.
I'm not feeling Nick right now.
Something's brewing, don't you think?
I'm not feeling Nick right now. It's like, dude, this is a big old mess. You need to just take a step. First of all, he intercepted in that whole relationship when they weren't technically done.
Yep.
And then you decided that you want to rub it in Adam's nose for the better the past 3-4 months. She found out she's pregnant. He wanted to pretty much control the situation until that paternity test took it out of his hands at this point. And then now, he's still trying to have this relationship when this is going to be a hot mess when it comes to Sally and Adam with this baby. If I was Nick, I would be like, look, I'm going to take a step back and let y'all figure this out.
I agree with you there. Take a step back. But I do remember Nick in the beginning saying that she should tell him. And then they talked some more. And then she was like, I'm not ready for that. And he was like, well, it's your decision. But I remember him distinctly at the beginning of it all thinking that Adam should know. And then he walked back on it after they talked some more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a hot mess. It's just too much. I mean,
it's too much.
It's just too much. I mean, the thing is, Nicholas knows at the end of that whole back in 2022, he knew that girl was still struggling with feelings for Adam. Why would you even want to be in the middle of that?
Agreed.
And then you walked in on them sleeping together, and you still want. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, offered her that time. And Sally was the one that wanted to continue to pursue things with Nick. And I feel like it happened a couple of different times where Nick was like, let's just slow down so you can figure out what you want to do when it comes to Adam. Now with the baby, or when he found out she was pregnant, I probably would have done the same thing if I was Sally. I would have gotten the test done with the man that I'm in a relationship with first, before I said anything to the second guy that I'm no longer with and don't desire to be with, because I don't want to tell him anything when this may not even be his child at all, and we don't even have to go down that road with that person. So I don't disagree with her waiting until after results came back to know whether or not she needed to have a conversation with Adam.
I didn't have a problem with that either, Keisha. I thought that was common sense.
And it wasn't like, again, she didn't go to Nick and say, hey, I might be pregnant. Nick figured it out on his own, so she hadn't said anything to anybody yet.
Right.
The thing that I find weird with Nick is Sally has asked him, I think, a couple times, and even before she found out she was pregnant, I feel like she's asked him the question of, what are we doing? Like, what do we want this to be? And Nick always gives well, let's just take things slow. We'll figure it out. He never gives her a solid answer, as if he doesn't know for sure that he wants to be in a committed relationship with her. So I'm just confused, because either you want to be with her or you don't want to be with her. And now it's like, he wants to stick around even though this baby isn't his, and it's like you can't even commit to her. So what's the point? Like, what are you doing? That's what's confusing to me, is he has not committed to her yet, and she has asked him, and he just keeps. I feel like he's beating around the bush with it. So I don't get that part of it.
He sure has not used the love word.
Yeah, they're not saying they love each other. He's not saying I only want to be with you. It's just we'll see what happens. We're gonna take things slow kind of thing. And it's like, well, she's having a baby now, so I think you either need to
you're not slowing that down.
Right. So you need to get on with it or let her go and let her figure out, what she wants to do when it comes to Adam.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, he should have walked away in December. So,
yeah.
I mean, when he saw his brother coming out of that room after
they've been sleeping with each other's girlfriends, wives, or whatever for years. So that part isn't even a shocker to me. It's just, that's just what they do. This is what, the third woman between the two of them?
Third or fourth. Fourth, Sage, Sharon, Sally, Chelsea. Who else?
I think that's it. I don't think Adam ever got involved with Phyllis.
No.
I mean, I've never dated a sibling. However, I do know a woman who dated a man. Well, she went out with a man like twice, and it never went anywhere and didn't materialize into anything. And then she dated his brother, and they're married. They've been married for like 40 years.
I've never witnessed anything like that in real life.
Just the one.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess that part of the equation just doesn't. It's not weird to me because it happens so often on the soaps, and you're talking about a sibling relationship that there really is no relationship, which I hate because of any of the Newmans. I wish that Adam and Nick could find like common ground and actually get along. So I hate that they went down the road of putting Sally in the middle of them, because I felt like at one point they were getting there until that happened.
Yeah, I thought they were too, especially with everything that happened with Faith.
Mm-hmm. So Medora Bohannon says Nick and Sally are just friends with benefits. Melanie Corley says, I love Nick and Sharon together. They always come back to each other, and Nick loves Sharon, not Sally. Sherry Robinson says Nick should have stepped back when his brother asked her to marry him. Adam really loves her. Medora says never understood Sally when she broke up with Adam, sleeping with her brother almost the same day.
She did.
And then
they weren't together to break up, though.
Yeah, they weren't together.
Medora says Nick is a serial cheater. And
who's not?
Melanie says, I never hear Nick tell Sally he loves her, and that should tell Sally something, that it's always Sharon in Nick's heart. That's what Melanie says.
I don't agree with the Sharon and Nick thing. I think they love each other as friends. I don't think they're in love with each other anymore. I think they're better off as friends.
Yeah.
Because there's been plenty of opportunity for the two of them to find their way back to each other, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't happen, because I just don't. I feel like that ship has passed with them, sailed. I mean, with them. I just don't see them together anymore.
I don't think they're going to go back to that either. I mean, they could later down the road somewhere, but I just don't see it in the direction that they're going to. And then once we at the end of the Young and the Restless segment, I gotta bring up something very interesting I found out about behind the scenes. So,
cool.
But go ahead.
But yeah, Sally and Adam weren't together when her and Nick started sleeping together. Remember, Adam broke up with her because of the whole trying to get Victoria to let Sally stay on at Newman. He concocted that whole little story about not wanting to be with her anymore. So they were already broken up.
Yep. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here. Are they going to? Because some people are thinking that they're not going to let her carry that baby to term.
I was wondering that.
And then there's some people that's like, because Adam did also bring up the whole idea. I hate the fact that I even let him have access to Christian. So I'm like, where are y'all going to try to bring that up again? Is he going to go after Christian? You know what I mean? So I don't know.
The other thing I didn't like about that situation on Adam's side of the house was I don't like the idea that people think because you are having a child together that you should be together.
I agree.
Like it has to be more than that. And if Sally is telling you that she doesn't want to be with you, you can't force that on her.
Nope.
Like just because she's having a child with you does not mean that her feelings about you have changed. Maybe they will. Maybe they will in the future. But you can't force it on her now. Like if she's not feeling it, she's not feeling it. And you telling her you're not even going to give us a chance. Well, if I don't have those kind of feelings for you, I can't give us a chance. And me having a baby does not change that.
Well, and not only that, I don't owe you anything.
Right.
Jenna says they did this before. Sage is dead. Why do this again? I want to see her miscarry. Wow, Jenna.
Yikes.
Jenna. They can hear us, because there's some folks saying, can you hear me? Can you guys hear us now? Hello. Okay. I look like there's some form. I don't know why this is happening. This is so weird to me, because we didn't have any issues with this back last year. Jenna says sound is totally off. Can't hear a word. Can you hear me? How about now? We should not have to go through this. Sally is probably pregnant in real life with Mark. I don't think so. They've been out drinking.
Tiny in their pictures. She's so tiny.
Well, the other thing is that they've been out drinking together, having dinner and stuff now. So I don't think she's pregnant.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with all of this. I will say that some people were saying for a February sweeps month, it was absolutely boring. What do you think?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was boring either. I thought there were some interesting things that went on.
I don't know. I guess, sometimes I don't know, from the previous years, there's some big crazy something that happens. Like with the November sweeps on the Bold and the Beautiful, it was the CPS call and that Ridge and Taylor marriage, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know if people were expecting some big, huge, shocking storyline, because that's what they normally try to do for the sweep. So that's why a lot of folks was like, oh, I don't know, it was all right, So I was wondering what you guys thought.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed with anything that's happened so far.
No, I
Okay.
wasn't either. In fact, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to the other storyline, which we can still stay with Adam, where Victor was offering him this so-called position. And then Adam was like, only way I'll come work for you if you give me Victoria's job, which he knew he was going to say no to.
Of course.
I don't even know why Adam is entertaining him.
Yeah, I don't even know that. Here's my question. Now that Ashley has taken over Tucker's debt, because that was Victor's idea, was to get access to that company and then have Adam run it. Now that that's not the case, Adam no longer works at Jabot. So what is he going to do? Just be floating through town? Where are you working?
I don't know what to expect with that storyline, because I know he goes back to Victor. I saw in the previews, but now that's not going to happen, or at least we don't think it's going to happen. But what's he supposed to do with him?
Yeah, what are they going to do with that character? Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. What are they going to do with Adam at this point? Because Ashley, when her thing is wanting Tucker to sell, because remember, even though she bought his debt, he can still sell. Ashley's person that she wants him to sell that business to, spoiler alert, is Devon.
Yeah, that's going to be.
That's what I was hoping was going to happen. Was Devon took over
McCall
Tucker's company, because that's his dad. Or I know this is kind of jumping storylines, because this is jumping into Devon and Lily's world, but I kind of hope that somehow he could get control of Chancellor, because that was his grandmother's company.
I've thought that too, Keisha. Because Jill bought the company from Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Jill didn't inherit the company.
Yeah.
Catherine left the company to Victor. She's had faith in Victor, and I think it would be really funny if that happened. Because could you imagine for Jill and Lily thinking they have stuff all sewn up, and then all of a sudden Tucker walks in? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I always love it when the women win in business, but sometimes it's fun.
And it would be in the family. It would be in the Chancellor family.
Exactly.
So what is that? And that goes back to if the Newmans get no control, no access over that company, because Ashley is telling Tucker to sell what remaining part to Devon, where does that leave Adam? He has no job now. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that character. I mean, yes, he has the storyline with Sally's baby, but what else are you going to do with this man? Which, Keisha, you and I have talked about this before he got the job at Jabot, is give him something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when he got
gonna have to hire him somewhere.
Yeah, but but the problem is they wrote the script so much that everybody hates him. So who wants to work with him?
He's gonna have to give up another body part.
I mean, maybe Devon will go out on a limb.
I just wish, I would think that Adam got some money somewhere. Start your own stuff.
He should, yeah. Yeah, he should have his own money. He should be able to, with his background, his education.
Right.
Start something of his own. But for whatever reason, they just don't seem to want to explore that with him.
No. No, he's just this rebel in town who's misunderstood, the black sheep of the family, can't never be settled on anything. It's like, come on.
Yep.
So Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. All right.
Why do you guys think I didn't understand this? Why did Tucker seem so bothered by Ashley taking on his debt?
I think he
wanted to sell to Victoria and the Newmans, who he knows they hate him. But why not? What would be the problem with the woman that you love being the one to take that debt on?
I think he was shocked more than anything.
Yeah.
I think he didn't expect. I don't think he expected Ashley to make a move like that in business. And he was shocked by that. He expected Victoria to do what she do because she's ruthless.
Yeah, but Ashley's just a chemist, remember?
Right. So he didn't expect her to be so business savvy to say, okay, you know what? Since you want to drop that bombshell that you were in debt up to your eyeballs, okay, let me make a power play, which he did not expect. So I think that's why he was shocked, Keisha.
Yeah. And let's not forget who Ashley's mom is. I mean, she was shrewd.
Yeah. I guess it seems like he would have gone to Ashley or Devon versus going to the Newmans because it's a benefit for them, right?
Who, Devon?
For like whoever acquires Tucker's
yeah.
That's a benefit for them, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Trish.
I don't even think that Tucker wanted them to know that he had all this debt because he didn't even want the Newmans to know. He was surprised whenever he found out that people knew about his debt. And so I think this was probably very humiliating for him that he got himself into this position to begin with. And now he's basically being forced and he's going to lose everything. So I don't think he really wanted Devon or Ashley to know that part of it because he had tried to get her to, bring the patents and let's start a company. I'll provide the funding and blah, blah, blah. I don't think he wanted them to know.
So I feel like after he found out that they knew, then it's like, okay, well, the Newmans know they're not going to keep that secret. They're going to let everybody know that, what I'm going through. Let me go to my son and let him get in on this before they do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I feel like you would want to go to the ones that you care about and love to give them the opportunity instead of just serving it up on a platter to the Newmans.
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, or a few minutes.
What I'm going through.
Hey, Jenna.
Hey, y'all. What's happening?
Get in on this before.
Okay. That when you said that word before, it got muted again. So I'm wondering, YouTube have trigger words. So I'm wondering if the algorithm is picking up certain words like that one.
You say?
Yeah, because when you just said it again, it muted it again. People are telling me in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm reading it. Well, do you think that's what's wrong with our sound? It's like certain things y'all are saying makes the sound go off?
I do know that the algorithm can pick up certain, like you can't say the S word that Chelsea almost did. You have to say, like Connor said, the word unalived. You can't say, yeah, you can't say certain words.
But we're doing this every week, which that's what makes this sound so strange to me. Because it's like, for the time we did it, when there was a bunch of us on, when Keisha and I think they were gone for that week, we didn't have any sound problems. I can't figure that out.
Well, that's because you were on the podcast side. You weren't on the YouTube. Yeah, you came over to the podcast side. That's why.
But let me bring this up because this is something for you to look at too. What I noticed was whenever, how y'all record it and then people can just go back and listen to it during the week, there was no sound problem. But if I go back to last week, for example, and I listen to last week's conversation on YouTube, it's the same thing. The sound problems are there. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if you may be right. It could be words that we're triggering that are losing our sound.
Okay, so look like we're gonna have to be careful because as soon as you came up and you said the word that you said, it automatically muted it out on the YouTube side.
That is so weird. Well, I can tell you I feel the way I do, and it's because we've done this before with Sage. We had this whole storyline with her doing this, and then Sage died because, Sharon kidnapped the kid and all that whole long story. But I'm just amazed that they would do this again.
Right.
Because it was like an idiot.
Go ahead and talk, you guys. I'm going to take this quick call, so go ahead and talk amongst yourself. I have to take this.
Okay. Anyway, that's why I said what I said, y'all. So that, I'm just amazed that they're doing this again. I feel like if they did do the story I'm talking about, it would at least it would put a chink in this and make a change to the story instead of making it look like a rerun.
Yeah, I one of my first thoughts was when we found out that the baby was Adam's. I also wondered if they were going to let her carry it to term or if something was going to happen in there and she was going to lose it, possibly.
Or maybe it was a misdiagnosis. I thought maybe that could be the case.
Yeah, I actually thought that too. I think it was last week whenever we were talking and T and I were talking about the fact that, what if she's actually not pregnant? What if it's a false positive? And what if she has a TUMOR? I mean, I don't know if I could say that, so I figured I'd spell it out. But what if that's the case? I'm going to start spelling out all the words I'm not sure of. Because I think 2 weeks ago I said a bad word and it slipped out of my mouth.
I know, I heard you say that.
I'm sorry.
You know what else?
I'm never laughing.
Personally, I was hoping for the twins with two different dads.
Oh, that has happened in real life, Keisha.
Oh, I know.
That would be unbelievable. I mean, we could go to the supermarket, read that at the counter while we're waiting to check out.
We could.
I mean, that would be a great National Enquirer story.
It would. Or no.
It has happened in real life, though.
It has.
You know what I was thinking would be really interesting to this. That's why I wanted to be a twist, but I have to ask y'all. I came today because I wanted to ask this question. That whole spiel that Nick gave to Sally, whenever he really, let it out, how he really felt about all this, it just made me nauseated and turned my stomach. I thought, what is your problem? Something is wrong with him.
Honestly, Jenna, what I thought when he said that was, okay, Nick, this was actually where you were supposed to still hold your tongue and say, again, that the only important thing is the baby and the mom. And that right now, my feelings do not matter. I just want you and the baby to stay healthy and be healthy so that we can, all together make sure that regardless of what else happens, that Sally has a healthy baby. And a healthy person.
That is all I wanted him to say. That whole sob story of poor me. I just wanted to reach in the TV and slap him.
Yeah, okay, hey guys, I'm back. What are you talking about? Let me in.
We talk about stupid Nick.
Oh.
I don't even remember what we were talking about before this now.
I think we was talking about Ashley, wasn't we?
Oh, yeah. And Tucker and business thing.
Yeah.
Well, what is that about? What is the point of that? May I ask? What is the point of Tucker? Period. I'm dying to know what he's doing on this show.
Right now, I think he's flailing. But
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be fun to watch what Ashley does with this power trip with buying his
Yeah,
debt.
me too.
Yeah.
Oh, what did y'all think about? What did y'all think about Victoria and Nate getting it on with Audra watching?
Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Chance.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah, Chance knows that.
Yeah, he definitely knows, or else he wouldn't have. When he went over there and basically warned them, I was like, "That's what I'm talking about, Chance. Let them know."
Yeah, I like that because Chance lately has been really weak, and this is just fantastic. I really thought it was great when they just had him just
lay
rip
into
it apart.
them.
I mean, he's laid into him. It was great. That was a great.
And I can't wait. I can't wait for the proof to come out and everybody knows what they did.
I would like very much to know what y'all thought about what Jeremy told Chance. I thought Jeremy went right into Chance. I mean, he went right for his jugular. He hit him at he pushed every button Chance had in him. I mean, he basically told him, "You're being used as a stooge."
Oh, yeah, he's a schlepp rock.
I mean, he really went at him.
I have to mention something because coming up in the spoilers, somebody's getting a proposal.
Yeah, big deal. I can't wait to see that. You just had to bring that up.
Yeah, I know. You, Trish,
hang on, I had to go get my feather so I could gag myself.
Oh my God, y'all crazy.
Okay, we got 1 for 1 going now, Letitia. I gave one, you gave one.
Yeah, I know. But I'm honestly shocked of the fact that they're actually going to go down that road.
Me too.
I mean,
well, I'm going to tell y'all honestly and truly, and I'm pretty sure y'all have thought of this too, but when he banished Phyllis from the very beginning, that told me right then and there that they were bringing her back to make this into some kind of big romantic thing for Jack. And the thing that's so weird about this is they never were any big romantic thing.
No, they were not. They absolutely were not. He used her.
Trish, you sound far away.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm right here.
Okay, there you go. That's better.
Okay.
What'd you say?
Oh, she used him and he used her, and back in the day, they absolutely used each other. They were not in love. They were more of we're in the same economic class, date some, fool around. But there was no real grand love. It was more like LUST.
That's what I remember.
What we can say, so I don't want to mess it up.
What'd you say, Keisha?
I remembered it that way as well. And that's why it's just weird the way.
Didn't it make you confused? I mean, honestly.
Yeah. They just made it seem like Jack and Diane, like the way they are now,
Yeah.
Made it seem like there was some big love story before she, left the show years ago.
There was not.
And there absolutely was not.
I'm posting everywhere. It ain't like they had no great big love affair and fell in love and now lives to have a baby. It's like she stole his sperm. I mean, come on. And she thought she was still Invictus at that. I mean, that's what makes this even more weird.
And he just fiercely defends her.
Isn't it gross? I mean,
it's just disgusting. I mean, what guy is so dumb up in the head that he would be sitting here thinking she's telling him the whole truth? I mean, he's got the same things at his disposal that Victor does. He didn't have her investigated. He just let her sit there and cry and tell him how wonderful her new life is. And I'm sitting here thinking, go vomit.
Well, because he's thinking with the other brain.
Something.
And I know this happened last week, I think, or the week before. But just the way that Diane is allowed to throw things in people's faces and be petty, and Jack says nothing. But he gets on everybody else. He'll get on Phyllis. He'll get on Nikki. He'll get on Ashley. He'll get on.
He got on Summer.
Summer.
You got
about the way about the way that they respond to Diane, but it's like Diane can throw her little jabs and say her little snide comments about everybody else, and he's like, "Oh, you're just being you're being nicer than what you have to be," and it's like, "What, Jack?"
Yeah. But what really gets to me is she's showing him and she's showing Kyle every step of the way who she is, and it's going right over the only thing I give Kyle credit for is he recognizes it, but he blows it off.
Yes,
he even brings it up to her. He even brings it up to her and just blows it off. But with Jack, it just goes right over his head. She baited Ashley big time in that house, and Ashley blew it, and she did it on purpose.
Yep, she did.
And then she turns around.
I feel like she's always the initiator. When she goes out in public, she will approach Nikki or Phyllis, initiate something with them, and then play the victim when they snap back at her.
But
why are you bothering even talking to them?
When she told Jack, she said, I may have been the one to upset her. I was so excited about our living together that I just wanted her to know. And I thought to myself, if somebody don't slap that face off of you, I don't know what I'm
Yeah, it's just, and the other, I haven't been on here for a few, so I know that you guys have already talked about it, but the other thing that just really floored me about her was when she asked Kyle for Phyllis's for a promotion, and basically Phyllis's
my God, did that blow your mind or what?
Yeah, but then in the same breath said, "Well, I don't want people to think that I haven't earned my position around here." Well, you haven't. Even from the very start, you went to your son and asked your son for a job that you didn't earn. You didn't interview. You didn't have to apply. You just asked, and he gave it to you.
And she didn't even.
Now you're about to do the same thing, trying to do the same thing with asking for a promotion when you haven't even been in the position that you're in for at least a year. And you want to move all the way up the line? Yeah, people are absolutely going to say you only got this job because Kyle is your son and you're dating the CEO of
Is it going on anybody that she's also doing this to stick it to Phyllis again?
Oh, of course. Come on. Of course.
That's exactly what she's doing. But do you think, Cobb brought it up. He said, do you think you're doing this to stick it to Phyllis? Like I said, he sees through her, but he just ignores her.
Yeah.
And when he told Summer, that's the other thing we didn't talk about, though. When he told Summer, we didn't see Summer say anything about that. And that was very odd to me. But the writers, for some reason, just blew that off.
Yeah, is he out the doghouse officially?
Well, I think so. No. I don't. I'm confused if it was Friday or Monday, but I think he brings her a rose and they clear it up.
Okay,
that was Friday.
That was Friday.
But I don't really think he's out of the doghouse. I think she's just pitiful because she loves him and she's just, she's weakening. But I'm not so sure he's out of the doghouse just yet.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking at some messages. So somebody was saying, hold on, it's a bunch of them. Yeah, Jack and Diane did not have a love story. She thought Kyle was Victor's. If Diane loved anyone, it was Victor. Jess, Brooklyn says Jack is proposing to Diane and will use it to her convenience. Oh, Honey Smile said Jack just need a warm body. He has little to no options on this show. And V Carter, the only true loves that Jack had were Nikki, his Korean son's mom, and Phyllis. Unique says Jack and Diane go back before he married Patty.
Yeah, that's why Patty went crazy, because she caught him on her wedding day in bed with Ding Dong here. I call her Dixie Wixie. She is as goofy. That's the whole thing about all this, is we really do not know. I mean, the woman faked her death. She comes back from Dracula's grave. She's been dating the guy who is a international money launderer, and she's just innocent as a driven snow. I mean, come on.
And she's so smug.
Oh,
smarmy, slimy.
Yes. I know, smarmy, really smarmy. So agree.
Yeah, Diane, she always played it. Oh, I didn't know I was doing that, and I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was too forward, but then she throws stuff in people's face.
You got it. And they wonder why Phyllis is bat-bird crazy. I would be too, because everything she did to Phyllis forgave. Phyllis forgave it, okay, because she thought the bitch was dead. Oh, I said a bad word.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you.
Oh my gosh, no, my laptop. Jenna, there's this message on my laptop blinking with danger alert.
Y'all gonna have to excommunicate me. But I'm serious. This whole thing, I can understand how Phyllis feels. She might be a little overboard, but I'm telling y'all, the woman put her in prison. I mean, she and Nikki, if there are two people who really should be going for her jugular, it's those two people. What she did to them, it was terrible.
I mean, the woman, Tucker and Diane, Ashley was married to Tucker. And not only that, it's just Diane is the most calculating, divisive character, and she will kill you by 1,000 cuts, and she will smile at you with the cat that caught the canary grin. And I cannot wait for her and Jack to completely crumble. Like I want
you. You think they will? That's the question. But that's the question.
Out of the mansion, I want him to lose everything.
I do too. But that's the thing, Keisha. That's what I'm thinking. Do you really think
that was Trish?
I was just wondering. Is that Trish? I was wondering because of the way the writers have played this from the very beginning, with the little picture of her and Kyle and Jack, and the way they have obliterated poor Phyllis. I don't even know how she's still around. They took her hotel. I mean, they all but stomped her in the ground, and I guess that's going to do to finish this. But they mean to make this couple a couple, and they mean for the fans to like it or not.
I think they will absolutely get what's coming to them.
I do too.
Well, if there's a hope God, it has to happen.
What'd you say?
If there is a hope God,
wait a minute.
thing, it's not going to be on the legal side of the house. It's going to be Victor blackmailing Jack and Diane in some way, and it's going to benefit the Newman business, and it's going to hurt the Jabot business,
which Ashley could be playing a big part of right now.
And maybe, which I don't know. I guess I don't really see this happening because Adam and Jack are friends. But I was thinking, I wonder if maybe he'll use it to put Adam in charge of Jabot and completely knock Jack out of the CEO position with the risk of jail time.
Y'all know what surprised me was Victor. When Jeremy Stark went to see Victor, he went to talk to Victor about Jack, and Victor just solely rejected him. The friend of my enemy is not my friend, I think he said. And I had thought maybe it was Victor who got Jeremy sprung from prison to come back and do his dirty work, because that's generally how Victor works.
But
Does somebody have a TV on in the background?
Say that again.
Does somebody have a TV on in the background?
I know I don't. What?
I don't. Sound on? Because that's all I'm hearing.
I don't think so.
Somebody, I can hear it now. I don't know if somebody sound like. Is there a TV or anything going on in the background?
No, I don't have a TV on.
Okay, I don't know. That's weird.
That's strange.
Okay.
I hear it too, though.
Yeah, I hear it too.
You hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I don't know. I don't have anything going on.
What is that?
I don't know. I just heard some kind of beep, though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Trish, can you hear clearly, all of us?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, gotcha. All right, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like Victor isn't going to show his hand to somebody like Jeremy, even if he was behind it. He's not going to let him know that.
Right, just like, yeah, now that he's rejected him, I see that, he didn't have anything to do with Stark coming back, which now is a big mystery to me, because now I want to know what Stark's got in mind to do.
Well, I believe that it was just because, like he said, there was no concrete evidence that Jeremy did any of what he was arrested for.
Well, and there had to be video too in Genoa City of him at his own hotel during the time it happened.
Right.
Because there's cameras everywhere, because that security system Phyllis put in doesn't miss anybody. There's nowhere to hide. So all they would have had to do is, not worry about anything that happened in Chicago, but just go to the Genoa City cameras and take a look there, and you can see Jeremy.
Exactly.
Yeah, because y'all know Diane was in his room planting the evidence while Jack was still had just come back with the necklace, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
that's another easy piece of information to find out is Jack was in Chicago when it happened.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
You can't fake your identification when you're buying a plane ticket. And even if he had taken his company jet, all they have to do is pull
the manifest. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chance is definitely not on the job.
I think Chance is so jaded now. I think Chance might be getting ready to be done with law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the time he needs to go after Jack. He decides to quit.
Exactly.
I don't know if he'll do it on his own, but I just look at his face, and every scene he's in, he's angrier and angrier, and he doesn't believe in the law anymore because, rich people get away with everything.
Chance is tired of them people.
I know, right? Listen, that whole Ashland Locke situation really did him a doozy. And then for Abby to treat him like a bald-headed stepchild.
I think you're right.
I mean, seriously, because right after the whole situation with Ashland Locke, he decided to look the other way, away from Victor. Then Abby decided to go and cheat on him. Really?
Yeah, and I think the whole reason he looked away from Victor was because of Abby. And I think when she cheated on him, he thought, what the hell?
Exactly. I don't blame him. Be like, are you serious? This is what you're doing? Oh, okay. All right. We got one other story. We got one other storyline, and then we got to move over to Bold. That other storyline is the thing with Heather, Lucy, and Daniel.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
What?
I
Okay,
wonder
so
if the
I
oh,
said
go ahead, sorry.
no, because some people were saying when we talk over each other on the YouTube side, we can't hear everybody. So, go ahead, Keisha, and then Trish, and then Jenna.
I wonder if are the writers purposely being ambiguous about everything that happened between Daniel and his family? Because I know I get it that Daniel, you know, I guess was depressed at some point, wasn't the nicest to Heather and his daughter. Obviously, his daughter is a little bit maybe scared of him for some reason, but it's like they're not fully giving us a story about what happened in that relationship, other than him being selfish and he said he was jealous of Heather because of her success while his career was kind of, failing or whatever. I just feel like there's little holes and pieces in that story that are missing. And maybe they feel like they don't need to give a full picture to us for us to understand that there's some turmoil in that relationship. But I enjoyed seeing Heather come back, and I liked, seeing him with Lucy. And I thought it was sweet in the end when they left, how, the daughter felt comfortable enough to give him a hug. Of course, obviously Daniel wasn't expecting that. The part of that story that annoyed me the most was Phyllis and her little meddling behind, thinking that she knows what's best for Daniel, trying to, jumping in his business, not reading the room, not just taking a step back and letting your child, your son, handle things the way he wanted to handle it. And it just completely frustrated me to hear her tell Summer, Daniel doesn't know what he needs. He doesn't know what he wants. I did this for him. I'm trying to help him out. Me. And even with, and I think this may have been, I don't know if it was this week or last week, when she popped up at the restaurant while they were all having breakfast. Oh, you made plans to go visit Christine and Paul, but you didn't call me. Like, Phyllis, this is not about you. You surprised them in wherever they live now. You popped up there. Did you tell Heather that you were even coming? You know what I mean? It's just
Right.
like everything has to be about Phyllis. And that annoys me so much. And then she gaslights her children because they tell her about herself and tell her, please mind your business. I can handle this on my own. She gaslights them and tries to make them feel guilty with I'm just being protective of my family. I love you guys. I'm just doing what's best for you. I'm just trying to help, and you guys just treat me like crap. And it's like, no, they've told you, don't do this, stop doing this. I don't need your help with this. And you insist on butting in anyway. And then you play the victim and you want to cry when they call you out about it. And they're mad at you.
Gotcha.
Like, just stop.
All right, what you got, Trish?
Yeah. I mean, to me, Phyllis is like fire, right? You love fire when you're cold. You love fire when you need to warm up. Fire is beautiful. It has a lot of amazing uses, but fire is also extremely destructive. And if you use an accelerant, then it's going to just burn the whole thing down. And Phyllis doesn't have a lever or a gauge. It's either all or nothing. She's like the kamikaze pilot. She is all in, and she's gonna just go right into the flames. And that's part of why I love her, and part of why I get so frustrated watching her, because she is literally her own worst enemy. And with regard to Daniel and Heather and Lucy, Lucy is just adorable. What a cute kid. And Heather looks amazing. Have not seen her on my television in years, and she just looks beautiful. And I was really hoping they were gonna maybe reunite the family. It would have been nice to have all three of them back. She's evidently in love with someone else, and that hurt Daniel. But we don't know how long they've been truly separated and apart.
Mm-hmm.
How long they were growing apart. And like Keisha said, there's a lot of holes here. So it will be interesting if we ever find out what actually happened and why Lucy truly does have or appeared to have some fear and trepidation where her dad's concerned. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know. I don't want Daniel and Lily together.
Yeah, what you got, Jenna?
Well, I think y'all, what I've come to understand about all of this is the 50th anniversary of the show. We all know the writers are not doing a great job here, but they want to celebrate the 50s, okay? So what they're doing is they're bringing back a lot of old characters with nothing to connect them to. And this is what's making all of this so weird. They bring back Daniel. They brought back Finmore with his gay friend. When we last saw Finmore, he wasn't gay. I mean, there's all these different variables that are playing in. Danny shows up at Christmas for Daniel. We haven't seen him. I mean, when you stop and you put all this together, and I guess this is a spoiler, I don't know, but we're going to see more of them in the next 2 weeks or so. But there's nothing connected to him. So they bring Daniel back, and we have no backstory. The last thing we knew about Daniel was Phyllis went to see him at some point weeks before. She never came back and said, my son is in trouble or my son is troubled. Everything was just fine. Heather was fine. They were all fine. Now all of a sudden she's in Portugal with Lucy, who I agree is adorable. But I think that's basically where we are with some of these stories that are not making sense, that we're missing chapters of, is they're trying to bring this 50th anniversary thing together, but they're just not pulling it together very well. People are just like stopping by, and there's really no reason for them to be there except they just, it's like open house at Y&R, and they just kind of showing up and they're going to do a little bit. I mean, you can't just tell me that all of a sudden Heather fell in love with some other lawyer overnight. She hadn't been gone long enough for that. So, that's what doesn't make sense. As far as Phyllis is concerned, this is what I think about Phyllis. If I was in the middle of the ocean and the ocean liner was sinking, I'd want to be Phyllis's friend because she's the only one that's going to save me on that boat. And the rest, I don't really care about.
Well, the interesting thing with this whole Heather and Lucy thing, I thought they were going to be here longer than a week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're going to bring his daughter to town and they're here for a week to try to reconcile, I mean, I got to say, okay, fine. They kind of patched together, Daniel and his daughter's relationship, because I really liked the scene from yesterday when she gave him that big old hug and she was excited about being part of the project that Daniel has. Yeah, I was happy about that. But then they're about to take off. I was hoping for a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Even if she decided to say, you know what, Heather, I'm you know what, I think I want to stay here in General City with my dad. Then fine, that leaves a piece of the storyline here instead of them taking off.
Well, did you kind of get the feeling that might be the case?
Well, what I was hearing a lot of different things, because the other thing is that people were saying they were going to tie in Sheila and the crossover because Lucy is her granddaughter and all that. That would have been great. They just dropped the ball. Not only did they not have a backstory for a lot of these folks, but when they brought them on, it was like loose ends and that you're leaving behind and people just coming and going and just, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's,
that's still it.
yeah, it just didn't make. Hey, Bree.
Hey,
How
can
are
you guys
you?
hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you. What do you think about that storyline?
It's just so boring. I only because I can't really get invested into Daniel's character. And it's really a writing problem. I don't mind him. I don't really care for him to be with Lily. I mean, no one's really a good fit for Lily at this point in time. But I wish I could know more. Like, what did he do? Like, did he cheat on her? Was he like a drunk and abusive? Like, what? Like,
That's the point.
I want more.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Do you think maybe it's been like a year of him being on drugs and alcohol or something? That's how Lucy made it sound. Like he was just this other person.
What do you guys think? Go ahead.
I honestly think that he might be more like his mom, where he's so invested into what's important to him versus his family.
Was that you, Keisha? What did you say?
When she said it, maybe he's like his mom. I said maybe controlling, and I also I feel like with the way Lucy seemed to be a little standoffish with him when she first, came into the picture. I feel like it had to have been some type of verbal, mental abuse. Maybe, I don't know about physical, but there had to be something volatile there, whether it was just a volatile personality where he was, maybe yelling all the time or something, because someone is just not, a child isn't just afraid of you just to be afraid of you.
Right.
But so I wonder if maybe that's why they're being ambiguous about it. Like they don't want to specifically say, he did X, Y, and Z to Heather and Lucy. They just want us to know that it was something that he did that made it to where she was afraid of her father. And I also have the question too about how long has it been. And I thought that maybe they were going to give us some type of hint.
But they didn't.
They have been separated, but
right.
they didn't.
Really. They didn't. What do you agree with that, Trish?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I can't imagine that it would have been physical violence, because Daniel most often has been a pacifist. But I can see where an artist would have a mental break, with Phyllis being his mom. She's had her breaks. I mean, I don't think Danny's ever had a break. He's made some bad decisions, but I don't think that he's, on that scale. But Phyllis definitely does have her issues, and she has really, frontal assaulted people verbally. And I mean, with a car too, but we're not talking about that. But she has verbally assaulted people, and that can be extremely horrifying, and especially if it's coming from the man that is, any daughter's first love, if they're growing up with them in the same house. Typically, when you're not abusive, your dad is your example, right? And so if he flipped and freaked out and had some kind of a breakdown, that's definitely going to cause a trauma experience for a child.
Hey Bree, so let me ask you this. So going by what you were saying, because I'm trying to remember exactly what you said about that with Daniel. My thing is with Daniel is that when they brought him back, they made a lot of us, and we talked about this on the podcast when he first came back, that something looked like it was wrong with him. Remember that? He was acting weird and stuff like that. So he gave this whole thing, and everybody was like, well, something's going on with Daniel. What's up? So I don't know if maybe they tried to use that as a way to make us think that he was out of his mind or something, and then try to bring in the Heather and Lucy situation with them co-signing the behavior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it's really a writing issue, because he's been gone for so long. He's really open to interpretation. He could have like hurt somebody. He could have kidnapped somebody. Like anything could have happened with his character, but we don't know. And I honestly really thought he was off. Like, I wasn't thinking more so like an abuse, like an alcohol abuse or anything like that. I was thinking more so like he has kind of got himself like stuck into a holding pattern, kind of like how his mom did, where she's like so invested into one specific thing and being obsessed and doing that he got himself, and maybe he's just frustrated with himself. Yeah. And he came to the realization, whereas his mom can't even do that. So I think that's why he's also frustrated with talking with his mom because he sees a lot of himself in his actions. Maybe he had to leave to go back to Genoa City.
I totally agree with you on that, Bree. I think that he is way more like his mother than he wants to admit or even imagine. And that will be, if anybody is listening to us, it would be a phenomenal storyline to have the two of them, have stuff bubble up, and then have the two of them break down together that they are just like each other, and that, hopefully they get some help with that part of their personality.
Exactly.
And they mentioned nothing about Lucy's mom at all. And I would have liked to know if she even knows who her mother is, or does she assume that Heather's her mother?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Even, I mean, because she has that whole genealogy to Sheila Carter. I mean, she got a whole, what is that, uncle in LA right now that's associated with the Forrester family.
Right.
I just wish sometimes the writers can kind of tie in. It would make the storylines that much more interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it seems like the people in Genoa City don't even know Sheila's alive.
Exactly. And they should, especially now that she's living with Bill Spencer and she's out of jail and she got away with charges. And
her son is married to a Forrester.
Exactly. They don't even tie that in together. So, all right. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say about The Young and the Restless, and I think Jenna might have touched on it just a little bit earlier. So they fired the entire breakdown writing staff over at The Young and the Restless. This just came out like 2 days ago. And 4 out of the 5 of the writers were women. One of them was an African American woman who was hired for the intended purposes of expanding diversity behind the scenes per CBS directive. So, and then now Josh Griffith, because Josh writing, he was actually executive producer for years, probably up until like 2019, I think it was. And then he became Cole something. And so I guess now he's going to be taking over the job of 5 people.
Interesting.
That's what he said. He said he's going to be doing all the writing. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's never good.
That kind of thing reminds me of the bloviating person who thinks that they are the only one who can do this job. I'm the only one that can say this. It's so absolutely narcissistic and disgusting. And you're literally saying you're the only one who can do all of this when you've got an entire staff of people. And if you need something to go in a different direction, the writers are taking direction from you, and you approved all of this. So where does the buck really stop?
Right. That was a question. I couldn't imagine somebody just fully sweeping house like that. I mean, that's very extreme.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's been all over. I mean, Soap Central posted it, SOD posted it.
It's a big story. I mean, you don't just go around you just firing your whole writing staff. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially if majority of this audience, and this is nothing shading to the guys, because there are a lot of guys that watch even my content when I do the recaps, but a large percentage of the viewers are women. And so if you have a writing, I didn't hear you say that again.
I said absolutely they are.
And when you have right, and when you have 4 out of the 5 that were fired are women, and then one is supposed to bring diversity. Yeah. So what are you doing with that? I mean, and then he's going to basically just take it on himself. They had an issue with his writing about 5 years ago when he had it on his own.
And then when he makes it a point, I mean, this is what got to me. Every place I read it, it was quoted in every article I read. I am going to be doing all of the writing.
That's never a good idea when only one person, only one point of view.
Keisha and Bree. Hint, Tyler Perry.
Yes. You know what? I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it, but yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny you brought that up.
But it really, you have to have like a checks and balances. That's why that's why he hired the different groups to begin with. I honestly feel there should be like maybe not just him writing. If he needed like fresh perspectives, then I can see like maybe getting 2 new writers, or actually listen and read the comment section when they post videos on CBS or on these message boards, because you have a lot of viewers who can kind of create like these predictions, and they would make great storylines. It's not like he's really going to take those suggestions because he thinks for himself, but he wants to make both shows better. Listen to your audience.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. So Josh writes for The Bold and the Beautiful too?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. Then that makes sense, because Bold is just off the rails right now.
Well, I was going to say, that's the show that needs to fire all the writers.
Exactly.
I mean, if they want to start firing writers, I would start with Brad Bell and just work my way down.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, you know what? Let's just jump in the Bold, because we gotta keep it moving. I know it's Saturday morning.
Before you start, I do have one question.
Sure.
I think Brad Bell sold Wine R to CBS, didn't he?
I don't know. What do you?
William J. Bell did.
He doesn't own. He doesn't own Wine R anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now would this guy be writing for B&B?
Oh, I don't know who's writing for B&B. Whoever it is, they need to go take whoever the writers are on Bold and Beautiful. Y'all all need to go take several seats. So that's just my 2 cents. I know we're not in that segment yet, but okay. So let's go ahead and do Bold since we're talking about it. All right, for the week of February 20th. Come on. Okay, so an exciting dating opportunity cropped up for Brooke, spurred on by Taylor. Deacon, bartender Hollis spent a romantic evening with Brooke. Sheila longed to be with Finn and Hayes. Yeah, right. They need to throw Deacon in there. And Bill vowed to make that happen, and Taylor attempted to mediate the feud between her kids. Where you guys want to start with this? Okay, let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and start with the feud between Steffy and Thomas. Who want to go first?
Set this up. This is all on Thomas.
Yep.
Thomas set this up. He went to Hope's, and in the whole process of all of this, the adults are not the smartest people in the room, because he takes this to Hope, and of course Liam's standing there looking like a deer in the headlights, and Hope reads this, and then they agree to it. Mm-hmm. Where is the critical thinking? Like, this is a child's life we're talking about. You can't put, what is he, 9?
8 or 9, isn't
9
he?
years old? I mean, who in the world is going to put that kind of pressure on a little boy?
Right.
A psychopath and a woman who thought she had it all nailed down and sealed up. She really thought that Douglas, she and Liam just knew they had nothing to worry about. And when he said Steffi, the first thought I had was, what about Finn? Like, there's a whole family over there. And I definitely wanted her to agree to it. But man alive, Thomas came in hot. I do think Thomas should have been told when Douglas was going to be going over to Steffi, so that he could have been there too to see everything like Hope and Liam did. But the way that he spoke to Steffi after he put her in this situation, nope, that's my 2 cents.
I agree with Trish. This was this was all a stupid idea of Thomas's. And I don't know if this was him truly feeling like he wanted to give his son the option to say where he wanted to live, or if he was just so arrogant to think that his son was going to pick him that he didn't have to worry about losing his son. And he's not even really losing Douglas. But and the same on Hope's side. Her and Liam were just so arrogant about knowing that Douglas was going to pick them that they agreed to this. Stupid idea that Thomas came up with. It was stupid for Hope to go along with it and agree with doing this. So when Douglas picks his aunt, and everybody is in shock, I thought it was kind of crappy the way Thomas came at Steffy. And I do agree with the fact that, yes, Thomas should have been afforded the information of knowing when Douglas was getting dropped off, so he could also be there and they could sit down and maybe have a little convo about why this is happening and what this means. But regardless of how annoyed he was with, Steffy telling him, no, you're not going to come over here. You're not just going to drop by, interrupt what we're doing, and think that you can pop up whenever you want. And like Thomas said, I basically live here now because my son lives here. No, you're not doing that. How about you come back tomorrow, or we set a time, we all sit down and figure out visitation, who's going to have Douglas on what days, like how this is all going to play out. So we don't have these issues of you thinking I'm trying to keep your son from you, or Hope and Liam thinking I'm trying to, control when they can see Douglas, or whatever the case. I thought that he was completely rude to Steffy. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was just very arrogant of Thomas to think he's going to get his way now because his son picked his sister. And I don't know. I agree with Trisha. I didn't like the way that he showed up over there speaking to Steffy. It was, I just thought it was crappy.
What you got, Jenna?
Well, I kind of agree with both. I think that the way he behaved was terrible. But what I couldn't figure out was, how did he think he was going to Steffi's all happy and like they were all in such a good place that Steffy was just going to let him see his son whenever he wanted when Steffy hadn't even been speaking to him? I mean, if she's given him a kind word since all of the thing happened at the wedding, that would have been a miracle. I couldn't figure out what he was thinking. He had just come from his grandfather, trying to see if he could worm his way back in there. And when that didn't work, he goes to Steffi's because he thinks he has the perfect in. It's like nothing that happened registered with him at all. Mm-hmm. And that's what I found so interesting about Thomas. It's like he was on a completely different level in his head. It's like nothing he did registered with him at all. And even the point of Steffi getting this child did not really register with him. And so, I'm just wondering where the writers are, what they're going to do with Thomas, because at this stage of the game, it's like just nothing is registering with him. He's completely mentally disconnected from everything that's going on with him. So how are they going to play that? That's the next thing I'm looking at. I think everything everybody has said so far is right on point. And I do think that in the beginning, he should have been able to go and at least tuck his son in and do the initial things that he should have been able to do. But after that, I'm still trying to figure out where Thomas is and where they're going with Thomas. Because, at this stage of the game, he looks like he's at a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Bree?
I'm a little bit frustrated just with Steffy. I agree with the fact that he should not have came to his sister talking disrespectfully. I do agree with that. However, Steffy herself was in the same position when she was having a pill issue. She was ready to pull a knife out on Brooke, Hope, and Liam, if we remember that, when it came to her child. So it's okay when it comes to her child to want to be aggressive. All he wanted to do, since he knew that he was in a safe place, he trusts his sister, he's with family, he wanted to see his son. she made it more difficult than it needed to be. Hope and Liam was able to go up to the room, spend time with him, comfort him. How difficult would it have been for you to allow his father to go up and say goodnight to his son? It wouldn't have escalated to a point had she kept fighting it off. That's his dad. And as much as I feel Hope is a great mother to him, but he's still a little boy. He's going to want his dad. Hope cannot tell him how to be that Forrester man that they keep stressing and dumping on us each and every chance they get about being a Forrester man. Mm-hmm. And they keep saying this is temporary, this is temporary. Hope, I understand, has been taking care of him, but when Douglas was with his dad over at Eric's, he wasn't thinking about Hope. It was only until he screwed up and he went back. He had no problem being away from Hope during that time period. Mm-hmm. And here we go once again, being away from her for a certain period of time. He made that choice. He doesn't want to be underneath Hope. I think he wants his dad to get his stuff together. And keep in mind, Brooke lives in a mega mansion. Hope lives in that cabin on the property of her mother's mega mansion. So it's not like she doesn't have the same things as Eric, possibly. He just doesn't want to be around Hope anymore, possibly because of Liam. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that.
Gotcha.
I do believe that.
Okay, here's my take on this whole thing. What Steffi was like, oh, not now. She don't want him to be stressed out. How about you go upstairs? You ask Douglas if he wants to see his dad. Let him tell you whether or not he's too stressed. Why are you speaking for him? He was able to speak up at that trial to make a decision. Right. He should be able to make a decision on whether, since his dad is downstairs, to say, hey, I want to see my dad. Because here's the other thing. Have Steffi even told Douglas that Thomas stopped by? All Douglas could be thinking like, dang, Hope came by, but my dad didn't check on me. Yeah, he was there, but did Steffi let him know? Mm-hmm. That's my issue with this. All this other stuff with him putting that whole stupid trial together. And I get it. I kind of understand what Bree says too about the fact that at some point it got to be with him making this decision. He want to get out of that little tiny cabin in the woods, right? He wants to be able to hang out with his other side of the family. He don't want to be sitting there having a visit with his dad when he got daggers shooting in his back because Hope and Liam are sitting there looking like big bug eyes, like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. So, at least over at Steffi's, he'll get the opportunity, even though he don't want to be with his dad, he still get the opportunity to have a more access, I think, in Douglas' mind, not the same type of access that Thomas wants.
But you heard when Douglas sat down and told those two. I mean, I felt like he was an adult talking to two children. When he told Finn and he told Steffi that he knew this was not easy on them, but he just couldn't take the fighting. He couldn't take
right.
visiting you, not some little, apartment with a roommate that you don't need.
Exactly.
I just think Brad Bell doesn't want to build another set.
Then kick Carter out of that loft because we barely see Carter.
Right.
I mean, he can have an imaginary home somewhere. Kick him out of the loft and give that to Thomas.
Well, the 10th anniversary is coming for Carter, so they're going to do a special on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know you. Hey, listen, Keisha, I know you don't like those replays.
I don't. I don't. And not only that, but this man had been on the show for 10 years, and y'all still ain't gave him a solid storyline.
Right. Thank you.
He deserves a little bit more than what he deserves way more than what he's been given.
Yes. And he's a writer on the show.
Yeah. Like, what's going on here? Are they
somebody around?
Well, you guys, I want to say a lot of times when these actors are then put in producing and then writing capacities, there was a long time where we didn't see Katie because Heather Tom was actually producing a lot of stuff behind the scenes on the CBS campus. So I don't know if that may have something to do with why we haven't seen much of him lately or why he hasn't had a meaty story. But I liked whenever we saw him and Quinn together. That was hot.
Yes, I miss that so much.
Out, so we don't see her anymore.
Who?
Nope.
Y'all, I wish Ridge, when he comes back, I wish he would come back with Quinn.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, but going back to the whole Thomas thing, like I said, Thomas just can't come and go up in Steffy and Finn's house. I mean, this is a married couple with their own kids, their own family. He don't live there. But on the flip side, she gotta allow some type of connection with his son.
Yep.
She had, I mean, at least he was able to, as much as Liam and Hope was staring him down every time he come over there, at least he got the opportunity to spend some time. Steffi is making it look like you need to go fix yourself. You got all these problems. You need to, excuse me, you're not exempt, sweetie. You got history too. So let's not act like we're, and like they tend to call Lily sanctimonious. So don't be so sanctimonious, Steffi, because all of y'all are a hot mess on this show. So don't act like he got to jump through hoops to see his son.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, nobody should be casting stones for sure.
Yep.
Not on this show.
What'd you say?
Not on this show.
No. All right, let's talk about this whole thing with Sheila and Bill and Deacon, because that girl want her some Deacon.
I'm gonna admit, Deacon, he's been looking really good. I don't know if he's lost weight or he just got himself in shape, but Deacon has been looking kind of fine.
Listen,
to me at least. I've never looked at him like that. He was a great looking man, don't get me wrong. But as of late, he looks kind of fresh. I'm like, okay.
Well, listen, Sean Kanan has been doing a lot of martial arts stuff lately.
Well, they certainly have perked him up on this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has come out of his shell on the show.
Remember when he first came back and was, trying to win Brooke over? What did I say? They need to give him something to where he's not just a bartender or a janitor at a bar or whatever it was that he was doing, living in a storage closet. There's no way that was going to work out between him and Brooke with his status. And it sounds, I know it sounds crappy, but let's be realistic here.
Right.
And I'm glad that they finally figure out.
I'm trying to figure out just where Deacon is going. I mean, it stands to reason he's going to end up with Sheila.
I'm enjoying very much that two men are into somebody other than Brooke.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it
that's my
that
whole
Deacon
point.
is kind of pining over Sheila, and it's not him. It's not the same old, somebody in love with Brooke and they can't have her kind of thing. I'm
But
glad that it's Sheila.
but there's a problem because Trish wants her off the cliff. So
I do. She needs
Yeah,
to
I'm with Trish. I'm totally with Trish.
off
The
the
sooner she goes over the cliff, the better I will feel. All of this trying to make crazy normal just ain't working with me.
Can't take it anymore.
yeah, Trish wants both Diane and Sheila off the cliff.
I'll help her.
All right. I honestly, me myself, I like the chemistry between Sheila and Deacon because there is zero chemistry between her and Bill
Right?
at all. It's like watching paint
Deacon's got
dry.
chemistry with everybody.
What'd you say?
The Deacon's got chemistry with everybody.
You think
He had
so?
chemistry with Taylor. Oh yeah, he and Taylor. That would have been a bang up job if they'd have put those two together. I didn't realize it until they were sitting there on the patio talking, but they have major chemistry.
I thought so too.
Maybe they should have went that direction and put Taylor with Deacon.
There's still
time.
Yeah, that's still
The
I'm
only
telling y'all, I'm trying to figure out where Deacon's going because I know he ain't going with Sheila, and I'm pretty sure Brooke ain't gonna end up with the bartender. So it's you got to figure he's going somewhere.
the only thing that I agree. I think Taylor and Deacon they have great chemistry, and I think they would be really good together. However, I don't like that Deacon was also a former Brooke is the queen of everything person, because I feel like they would go back down the road of.
But didn't y'all notice that that's exactly what happened? I mean, they've been concentrating a lot on Sheila, but y'all, we just had a whole episode of nothing but Brooke and her little dress and her little new hairdo and all of her extra makeup, if everybody noticed. And trying to make her look like she's 30 years younger than she is. They put her with the bartender. I mean, come on.
Oh,
I just want them, when they finally do decide to concentrate on Taylor, I would prefer them to give her somebody that does not have history with Brooke.
If they ever concentrate on Taylor, I mean, I'd give anything if for once Brad Bell would just do something with Taylor besides beat her up.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. And I know this is going to be an interesting subject because yesterday's episode was very subliminal. Does it look like that they're trying to do a brailer?
That's exactly what it looks like from yesterday.
I think they're testing it. I think that's exactly what Brad Bell is doing, is he's testing the waters to see who's going to go for it and who isn't.
Yeah. I don't know. And did you notice who was that? Hope was having a conversation with Liam. My mom needs to be with somebody, not somebody new, but somebody who she's comfortable with, who she already knows. Who could that be? And then
I have an idea.
And then they switched the scenes to them in her bedroom when she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could date Hollis. I'm not ready yet. I need to be with somebody I know, somebody who's not new, who's comfortable." And then we had the scene with the two of them. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it sure looked like they're Kim testing.
It was implied.
We are, how many, 4 or 5 women here talking today? I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When can women get together and not have to be gay? I mean,
of course.
Wrong with just having a good friend?
Of course.
My best friend and I travel all the time together, and if it's king size bed, we sleep in the same bed and we laugh.
Yeah, I mean,
and
they're not
dinner. I've held her hand across the table. We've cried in public together about things that have happened. I've hugged her. I've kissed her on the cheek. She's kissed me on the cheek. She's hugged me back. We've picked each other up when we're down. So, nothing that's happening is making me think that they're going down that road. But a lot of people are saying it.
I honestly don't believe that.
It wasn't until yesterday's episode that I felt like they were they were implying that they were going down that road, just because of what Hope was saying. And then again, like Letitia was saying, Brooke was also saying, I need somebody that I already know that I'm comfortable with XYZ. That's why I feel like they're trying to Kim test them. Because before it was just them being two friends, supporting each other or whatever. It wasn't, there was no romantic suggestions implied in their scenes until yesterday. Because who else on that show, other than Ridge, who else on that show are they making these clues about? It's not Eric, because Eric and Donna are together.
Deacon.
They said Deacon, and then they kind of blew it off.
Oh yeah, that conversation that Hope had with Liam. What about my dad? And one of them said, well, I don't think that's gonna happen, blah blah blah. Remember that was yesterday's episode, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday's episode. When she said Deacon, Liam kind of blew it off, or vice versa. And it was like, that's obviously not going to happen, or that's probably not going to happen, or whatever. And as we see, Deacon is himself out of his mouth saying that he has moved on from Brooke. So obviously the writers are not suggesting him. So the only other thing that makes sense, because straight from that scene, they go into the scene with Brooke and Taylor, is they must be implying or suggesting that possibly they're going to put Brooke and Taylor together.
Well, maybe they're just going to Golden Girls us.
Say it again.
Maybe they're just going to Golden Girls us.
That's possible.
No. I mean, honestly, because Trish, I know you said this, and like Jenna just said this, and we've said this on previous podcasts, that they're probably just going to be good friends. Because when I heard that she was going to be dating a guy and Taylor was going to help her, I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. That whatever the situation they're going this direction versus this direction, because there was a lot of things being tossed around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until yesterday's episode, and it's blazing all over social media. I mean, the
two least likely women you would ever know to do this would be these two women. That's why I think it would be foolish.
It reminds me of when this is what annoys me about it. It reminds me of when they did suddenly Stephanie and Brooke became BFFs when Stephanie was when she was dying, when she had her illness, and then all of a sudden now they're just the greatest friends on earth. When Stephanie absolutely hated Brooke's guts. I don't even think Taylor hated Brooke as much as Stephanie hated Brooke.
That's true.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they decided to try this. I don't know.
Well, that would be like saying, since we can't have Ridge, there's no man that we'll ever want more, so we'll just take each other.
I don't know. My question is Ridge even coming back? It's been well over 3 months.
That's been my question. He sure has been gone a long time.
He was supposed to take like a 3-month vacation to spend time with his family. So I think he's eventually going to come back. And I think they're also trying to set us up for possibly either one of them to go back to Rich, because she kept saying someone who's familiar. She doesn't want anything new. That's why it's either, for me, it's either going to be Ridge or Deacon, because eventually, as far as Deacon and Sheila, Sheila's has to kind of follow up with her agreement with Bill. And I think somewhere in the spoilers they said they're going to say goodbye to one another or something.
They're ending it.
What?
Yeah, they're ending their romance or their affection for one another. So eventually Deacon's going to have to want to move on. And I feel the obvious choice would be Brooke.
I guess I don't see why they would do this roundabout way of putting Deacon and Brooke back together when we all know how Deacon has felt about Brooke for however many years he's been back, or months he's been back now. So what's the point of having him do this back and forth with Sheila, tell Hollis that ship has sailed with Brooke, to then
that was just I feel
them back together.
because the writers, they're looking at the comment section, because a lot of people have said they want to see Brooke and Taylor date. They kept bringing up the Brailer situation. So I feel like the writers had just kind of just teased it, this gain curiosity for the audience. I don't think they'll ever move forward with Brooke and Taylor, because eventually it's still a soap. They're going to need some type of feud, just like everyone else on the show.
That would totally ruin it if they bring Ridge back to put him back with Brooke. I mean, that would totally ruin that.
Yeah, I hope they do that, because I don't want them to go back to that love triangle feud. I don't mind seeing Brooke and Taylor become friends, because I'm tired of the back and forth.
Yeah, I agree.
Over that man. I'm hoping, because Sheila has a long-term contract right now, right?
3 years.
Oh,
Wait, whoa. Kimberly Brown, 3-year contract? What's wrong with that?
I'm hoping that because Kimberly Brown's contract is, good for the next 3 years, that they are going to stay true to the Taylor and Brooke friendship relationship. But they're going to stay true to that, because then they'll have Sheila on there to be the feud,
the contrast.
They won't need to put Brooke and Taylor against each other.
Who was that?
Yeah, but I think that doesn't mean she'll be on there for 3 years. That just means that, if they decide to use her at different points of 3 years, they can.
But that's what I'm hoping for. Because if she's there, then they have somebody that they can be combative with, and it doesn't have to be each other.
I like it too, Keisha. I like when strong, beautiful, intelligent women back each other up and support one another instead of go at each other, because I just like those storylines so much better. And I just think that in this day and age, we need a little bit more of that.
I so agree. I'm enjoying seeing them be friends. I just hope they don't mess it up with the other.
Yeah.
What you got, Bree?
I agree with all of that. I honestly feel that maybe going forward, they're going to try to push this narrative that after everything that they've been through, I feel like they've had more of a back and forth than Brooke had with Ridge and what Taylor had with Ridge. These two women have fought over different types of men. And I think maybe that's why they keep crying, is like they put so much energy into hating each other and feuding with each other. It's nice to have that peace, and it maybe these are like just, I don't know, happy tears, or just happy to move on to like a new chapter in their lives, and they can breathe clearer without a man. And I fully respected Brooke for when she said, like, I didn't want to sleep with another man. I fully understood that. And it made me laugh, because for decades, this would not be the dialogue coming from Brooke. I mean, all the women on the show had to hide their husbands, including her daughters. And now she decided to put away her garden tool ways, and was like, you know what?
Bree. Hey, Bree, you mean 304?
Yeah, her 304 ways. She's retired that. And it's nice to see a retired 304 just moving on. And like I feel like a lot has kind of fallen from Brooke. She went from billionaire and millionaire and owner of this company and this and that, brother, husband, everything, to go on a date with the waiter. She was like, you know what? My time is up. I'm done.
transition period for Bill where he's using this time to kind of clean up this whole triangle thing, trying to clean up Brooke to put her back with Ridge when he comes back. And there's not going to be this animosity between she and Taylor, and they're going to stop all this stuff about her being the mattress back of the show. You know, I mean, it's when you read the board, I mean, that's how they say about her. It's like, you know, she, for everything that he has tried to do to put a better face on Brooke since he has been writing for this show, it still has not erased all of the stuff that people know about Brooke. So I think he's taken his time to kind of do that here. I just don't see any other reason for it. I mean, my whole question was, what is the point of Brooke and the waiter? What was the point of that?
Right. I don't know what. I guess an older woman, younger man, trying that. I don't know.
But
if they want to make that, if they want to make that more realistic, have it be somebody that can actually be on the plane.
But y'all, this is the thing that got to me. I mean, when you listen to the dialogue, you think about the writers writing this, okay? And here's the waiter saying, I have admired you for years.
Right.
I have been watching you from afar. And I'm like, well, where have you been? Behind the bushes? I mean, I never seen you before. You know, what do you mean you've been admiring her for years? Where?
I mean, he probably went to school with her kids. And you think maybe she was the mom handing out the cookies.
And he was like, you know, while Deacon was in the broom closet with this guy hiding behind the bushes. I mean, where was he? Because we never saw him
at all. But I think he probably went to school with her kids, and he's seen her face.
I mean, that guy has to be as old as Bridget or Rick.
And have you ever been a model? Do you model? I'm going like, give me a break, America. It's just, you know, come on. I mean, you know, everything that they wrote in that script for him was like in La La Land. I'm like going, where did you come from?
You know what annoyed me also was Hope having the nerve to question Taylor about why she was trying to put Brooke up with the waiter. Like, are you trying to keep yourself single until Ridge comes back? I thought that go sit down somewhere.
I thought that too. I thought to myself, get over it. You know, just get over it. I've had enough of Hope on this show. I'm telling y'all.
Right. If your mama wants to go out on a date with this man, she will. And if she doesn't, she'll say no. That don't have anything to do with anything else.
Yeah, I know, right?
But this just goes to show you how much this show has been lacking in women being friends with women. I mean, it's always on this show in particular. I don't know whether it's because it's 18 minutes long or what, but on this show in particular, you never see women being friends with women. The last time we saw it was when Sally Spectra was friends with Stephanie, and it was so much fun to watch them together because they were so hilarious. Yes. But we never see that. And, it was like, geez, give it a break, Hope,
I mean, it was always, I guess it was a situation of the Forsters versus the Logans, Hope versus Steffi, Brooke versus Taylor. And it was always that contrast. But at the same time, the ratings are dropping. I've been watching them, and
I don't doubt it.
And the thing is, because the fans are so used to that chaos and that drama between them, now we got kumbaya between Hope and Steffi, especially with Steffi teaming up against Thomas with Hope. And then the whole situation of now Brooke and Taylor now being BFFs, the ratings have significantly dropped over the past 3-4 months.
And also, don't discount the fact that they put Sheila with Bill.
Correct.
That is not going well.
Correct. That's the other piece.
That's why they need to kick it up with Sheila and her antics.
They better do something.
Well, I mean, is it because I think this coming week, Bill is going to have a conversation with Fan on.
and that she is more on his level than all of these women that he's tried to be better for.
Gotcha.
I just wish they would have, when they decided to put them together, that they would have made it. They didn't make it so robotic with Bill.
We could use a backstory. You know, that would have helped a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and actually have him act out some feelings and not so just
robotical.
Yeah.
Every time he takes her in his arms to hug her, I feel like he's hugging a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, everything is just so cold between them.
Yeah.
It's like you don't feel any warmth.
Yeah, I don't understand why they even put them two together in the first place. It just makes no sense. None of that. And it's still not working with the fans. It's one thing if they say, okay, we're going to put something crazy together. And then the fans are like, oh, wow, this is getting good. Everybody still hates it. And it's been, what, 2.5, 3 months now after the whole CPS thing in December, and we're going into March. So,
well, and then it's the same thing with the Douglas story. That just popped up out of the blue. All of a sudden, he's got papers and he's going to court tomorrow. I mean, I'm still wondering how we even had an adoption. So I'm not even caught up on this yet. You know, I just keep thinking that we're missing chapters of the stories, and it's making it very difficult to follow them. And if I'm a fan out there and they're asking me to give them a rating, that's what I'm going to say. Where's the show? Where's the story?
Yeah. I feel like they just have a dartboard of ideas and they throw darts in every month. This is what the storyline is going to be, or this is the direction that we're going to go with this storyline. And it's just like they're not taking the time to actually put things together.
Well, if they are putting them together, but like they did last year, then Brad Bell wakes up one morning and says, gee, I don't like that. Let's just change it all around. Then you get this stuff.
Mm-hmm. The dartboard. I don't like it. Let's throw a dart over here and let's see what we're going to do next, because this isn't working for me.
Trish?
No, I totally agree. It just seems there's just a lot of fragments, and it's like a puzzle, but there's no box top, and you can't see where anything goes yet.
And what about you, Bree? Bree?
I love Don. I think he's a great actor, but I feel like they're not using him to the best of his ability, because when he first came on to the show, the Bill's character was so profound, so powerful. Like, he was surrounded almost any and every storyline, and now the writing is to the point where, like, if I miss a scene with Bill, I could care less, and I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like if it's a self-esteem, then I mean, a woman's not going to cure that. I honestly felt like a great storyline. This is something like I even emailed this to CBS like a couple of years ago. It would be nice for Dollar Bill to go broke for whatever reason.
Oh, like they're doing. Listen, Bree, like they're doing with Tucker.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
That would change. Now that would throw your ego and your confidence and everything out the window. That will make you depressed. To be from a billionaire to having nothing. I honestly felt that when he was going through that back and forth with Katie, that she would take him for everything, or like some sort of loophole where she took everything. That would have been a better storyline.
No, I mean, what they're basically telling us is that, you know, he's a...
Are you muted? What happened? Jenna? When did she mute herself? Maybe she muted herself or something. I don't know. It cut out. Okay, so what were you saying? I know you done, Bree, with what you were saying.
Yeah, I just don't see what else they can really do for Bill's character at this point. What happened to him teaming up with Thomas? I mean, that would have been interesting. He could have helped like maneuver the court system for Thomas so he can have full custody. There's like something.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with so many different storylines. Go ahead, Trish.
They did. And I also think it could have been really cool if Liam and Wyatt went in and took over the company because his mental state is so off.
Well, they supposed to. Yeah, I know. All right. That was
I'm going to say I would like to have seen Phyllis finally accept that how she has been treating both of her kids was wrong, especially when it comes to Daniel and his family, instead of just continuing to pile on the excuses of why she is doing or has done what she did.
Gotcha. Okay, what you got, Jenna?
I think if I were going to flip the script, I would have wanted Chance to make it more clear to Jack and Diane that he knows what they did. And he's going to watch it.
Okay.
I think if anything I wanted to see the most, it would have been that, because it would have given him a place of power that he seems to be losing every hour on the hour. You know, he's letting him think that he got one over on him. And I would really love it if he would have just really level with him and told him, we're looking into this. This isn't over.
Okay. What you got, Bree?
I'm trying to think of the character's name that Nate had hired. What is her name?
Audra.
Audra. I feel flip the script. She walks in on Nate and Victoria. She agrees to keep it quiet as long as she gets Nate's position.
Bree, that's Monday.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she don't
Seriously?
walk. Well, the
And
thing
not-
is that kiss doesn't actually happen until the week of the 27th. So, what do you have for the 20th, the week of the 20th? No. Okay, so So, all right, what you got for bold, Trish?
For bold, I think I would have preferred for Hope and Liam to just butt out of what Brooke was doing. It's just dinner. Like there's such a big deal being made about this dinner she had with Hollis, and that Hollis is younger. Men do this all the time. Who cares if Brooke had a date? Leave her alone. Let her have some fun. I mean, she's not drinking. She's not spending the night, and it's dinner. I just thought that was ridiculous. I wish they would have just given her some support and said, have fun and enjoy your evening, and then go about your business.
Okay. Keisha?
Mine would be, instead of, and I know this goes back to last week, but instead of Thomas proposing what he did with the custody thing, just take Hope to court and just battle her in court for custody, visitation rights, whatever. But this whole stupid let Douglas pick where he's going to live was just dumb.
It was dumb. All right, Jenna.
I think if I were going to flip the script, I would have had Thomas telling his grandfather, instead of sitting there begging him to take him back, I would have had Thomas tell him, I'm going to sue you for wrongful termination.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Yikes. Okay. All right. Bree?
Flip the script for B&B. Honestly, I would have Sheila cheat on Bill with Deacon. And they keep it private in order for people to throw them off their trail. He's going to try to go back and try to date Brooke, and then they both find out, and it puts Brooke and Bill back together. I don't know.
Oh my God. All right. All right. And really? Hey. All right.
Lily and Nate are both taking a seat because Nate had no business even sticking his nose in trying to figure out what was going on, because he questioned Christine, remember?
Right.
He saw her in the hallway, questioned Christine, asking her, why she was at Devon's house. Then set up that meeting with Lily, trying to figure out what else is going on, because he feels the need to make sure that his family isn't at odds with each other. Like, you were probably the main cause of why all of this is happening. But then Lily needs to take a seat because she had the nerve to say that Devon betrayed her. And it's like, no, he is valid in his reasons for why he's doing what he's doing. He's not betraying you.
Exactly.
Chancellor is not your company. You're just an employee there. Like, right. Stop playing. And we all know why I want Phyllis to take a seat.
Okay. What you got, Jenna?
Well, I think Devon and Lily and Nate.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Jenna. Did you get all yours out, Keisha, from both shows?
Oh, I didn't do both.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jenna. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Keisha.
My bold take a seat is Thomas and Hope for obvious reasons, because they're the reason why all of this is. Steffi was thrown into the middle of this through no fault of her own. The both of them agreeing to this stupid agreement is the reason why all of this is happening.
True.
So they can, both of them can take a seat.
Wait a minute, right quick. Delmonica said, I'm waiting on Jeremy to flip the script on Diane.
That's a good one.
That's funny. All right, you done, Keish?
I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Jenna.
Yeah, if I had to get anybody to take a seat on one, or like I said, I think it would be Nate and Audra and Devon and Lily. And I think Diane and Phyllis.
Okay.
I don't even know about Jack anymore because I don't think he exists.
Dang.
But I do on the Bold and the Beautiful. I think they all need to take a seat. I've been saying it time. I think the whole cast needs to take a seat.
All right.
Can we throw the writers in there too?
Huh?
I said, can we throw the writers in there too?
Wait, that was mine.
They all need to take a seat. The whole thing.
All right. Go ahead, Bree.
For Y&R, Victoria can take several seats.
Oh.
How are you almost a billionaire and you choose to be a side chick? How have the mighty have
Whoa, she dropped a bombshell. Wait a minute. No. Whoa. Right. Right. Yes, it looks like it. Okay. Nerve, she getting on my nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Bold, Steffi, go sit down somewhere. I mean, honestly.
both of their problems, both Hope and Brooke are way too involved in each other's lives as it is. They do that to each other.
They have more of a friendship than a mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
They just way too involved.
I mean, they date the same men. They just.
That's another couple, though. You know, I keep thinking of, well, how come they living back there in the Alice in Wonderland cabin when they could be in their own home as well?
Yeah.
I mean, oh.
But I mean, it's not like, you know, mom has to come over the next morning to find out how it went the night before. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, y'all, boy. Between the whole side chick conversation.
I'll be nice. They're both, Hope and Liam are both rich. Why are they having Douglas playing like a little corner? He wants some space. He wants to breathe. He's tired of looking at Liam and hearing him complain about his dad. Brooke's house is huge. Why can't she just live on like a whole other wing of the house? Why a cabin?
I'm telling you, I think the whole thing is weird. I mean, it's like to put Alice, you know how I look at this, y'all, and don't laugh, I'm serious. I see this kind of like they're the children, Brooke is the mama, and they playing house with each other, but it ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Mom comes over every day to make sure they're all cleaned and fed. They can sit there and play house like two little teenagers. But I mean, are they ever going to grow up and be, you know, human? I mean, they're going to be grown-up people?
Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing is just so crazy to me. I just wish they would move out of there and get their own place. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and just like we said, Thomas, you got money. You just told Hope. You told Hope a couple weeks ago that I'm buying a house so he can come live with me. Go buy the house where.
Now, Paris lives from pillar to post. I don't think she's ever home. She's living with Finn and Steffy, and she's dreaming about Finn, and you see her living. I mean, where does the girl actually live? Now she's living with Thomas. I mean, does she ever have a place to go?
Wait a minute. Where does Zende live with Eric?
In the pool house.
Oh, he lives in the pool house.
In the credits.
Pool house.
Zende lives in the credits.
That's a great one. But I mean, they never lived in her own place since she moved there.
Oh my God, y'all
My
crazy.
drink almost came out my nose, Bree. Oh,
at some point in one of the episodes.
You know what? You know what? Wait a minute. So I know that Taylor.
Talking about Paris.
Oh, Paris. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, wait, wait. Uh,
Every other woman on that show can make their rounds. Paris should be able to do it too, and she should be able to be redeemed. Can be redeemed.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. So hopefully, if they do decide to put them together, hopefully they will end the little streak of her being in love with somebody for 2 weeks and then suddenly moving on to somebody else 2 weeks later.
all right. What about you, Jenna? Do you think that the Paris is for the streets?
Totally.
Dang.
Paris is for the streets. Brooke is for the earth.
Well, dang.
This is no holds barred commentary right here.
I'm just trying to figure out where she's supposed to be. You know, where's she going? It's kind of like Deacon. Where's he going? I'm at a total dead end with these people because I don't know where they're headed.
Right.
Wow. And she actually said Brooke is for the earth.
She's put decades of work, and you got to give credit where credit is due.
Planted a lot of gardens. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
She is Mother Nature.
Okay, so let me ask you. Wait, hold on. Hold on. So so let's go there. On the Young and the Restless side, are oh Nick. Wait a minute. Okay, no.
for the earth. I agree. She's put a good resume in over the years too.
You know that's not a resume. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Dang. Oh my God. Y'all crazy. Well, I mean, honestly, Victor's got to be the biggest F-19. That man got kids everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yep. Guys, this was girls, I should say, girls, ladies, everybody. This was hilarious. We got. Pimps too. So well,
Yeah.
all right, you guys. So until then, thank you guys for coming up. And always, Keisha and Trish, my girls, my longtime OGs. It was a good one. And we will. What'd you say?
I said, yes, it was.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.